So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our prospect rebuild series, and today it's Nikola Topic to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder used the number 12 overall pick to select Nikola Topic. He was a very, very promising prospect coming into this draft. Many people had him going in the top 5, and then he ended up partially tearing his ACL back in April. So he is going to be out for what is likely the entirety of next season, but on a Thunder roster where he can obviously sit back, take some time, and still let them be a very competitive team, it is certainly not the worst thing in the world. So we'll talk about more about his fit just a second once we get into the video, but this is a Thunder team that obviously has a very, very bright future. They were just the 1 seed in a loaded Western Conference, made it to the second round of the Western Conference playoffs, and is going to be a force for many years to come. Our goal today within these 5 years is to obviously bring the Oklahoma City Thunder a championship, something that is probably not the most challenging task in the world, but we are going to strive to do our best anyways. Of course, before we do get into that video, let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. We are always looking for ideas. Around this time of year, you guys don't need the speech. Anything you want to see, let me know down below. Excited for this one today, man. Let's get into it. We are here in offseason number 1, of course, as you guys are very much aware. The majority of this first offseason is already over. I am not sure if we'll be making any trades with this Thunder team, because they had a pretty eventful offseason, if I do say so myself. So let's go ahead and talk about the roster that was the number 1 overall seed in the Western Conference last year. Starting out here at the point guard spot, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 26 years old, is an MVP candidate, one of the best players in all of basketball. We are, of course, going to be building around him today, hopefully going to be the guy that ends up leading this team to a championship. You got Cason Wallace, really solid rookie campaign with the Thunder. The one hope when you are a team like the Thunder and in the position that they are, because they are so talented, but they also have so many different draft picks heading into, the next 5-6 years, whatever it's going to be. You hope that a lot of these young players, like a Cason Wallace, like a Nikola Topic, don't just get buried on the benches of a team like this. Obviously, Cason Wallace played last year. My goal today is to kind of maximize his ability, see how far we can kind of take it. Hopefully have him be a really impactful piece on this team. Obviously, tremendous defensive guard here as well. Okay, moving on to Nikola Topic. 19 years old, out of Serbia, was originally injured back in January, missed several months, came back in late April, and then partially tore his ACL. Now, according to all reports, was undergoing ACL surgery this summer, and there is a very, very likely chance he misses the entirety of next season, meaning he will be a rookie at the start of the 25-26 campaign. And although maybe some of you don't want to see it, that is what we are going to do here today. I know I don't typically play with injuries on. I'm just going to do this, right? He's not going to actually play, next season. Why would I do something that's not actually going to happen, right? Kind of get it? I don't know. Maybe some people like that. Maybe some people won't. If the Thunder weren't as loaded as they are, maybe I go ahead and turn that injury off. But we're going to keep, I guess some sense of realism in that aspect today. Not much else, though. All right, here at the shooting guard spot, they brought back Isaiah Joe on a 4-year, $48 million contract. Not sure if he'll be my starting shooting guard. Not sure if it's going to be this man who they acquired this offseason from the Chicago Bulls in a 1-for-1 swap with Josh Giddey. That being Mr. Alex Caruso. Obviously a nice defensive addition here. 30 years old, Caruso already an NBA champion. Really, really like this pickup. The Josh Giddey experiment was just not really working out anymore for Oklahoma City, and I think they got a really, really good player here in Caruso to replace him. So those are our 2 shooting guard options for now. Of course, it is something we will keep our eye on as the 5-year rebuild goes on. Here at the small forward spot, I'm going to have some questions, not about Lu Dort as a player, about where he is going to kind of fit on this team, because he was a starter for this team last year. And is he still going to be a starter as they head into next season with a roster that has certainly gotten better from a year ago? So I like Lu Dort, obviously another strong defensive player. Certainly nice to see that shooting getting better as well. 25 years old, around a 79-80 overall. You got Dylan Jones behind him, 21 years old. You got Keontae Johnson here as well. This is just, it's depth. It's not my favorite depth in the world, but we'll figure it out. Jalen Williams, who, my opinion, second best player on this team, maybe third if you would take Chet over him, but obviously very, very good. Younger brother just ended up getting drafted in last year's draft. So 23, 87 overall. He's going to be a building block here for State. There's no denying that, whether it's at the 4, the 3, whatever it's going to be. Excited to have him. You got Aaron Wiggins here. Also brought him back on a 5-year contract. I think the 5th year is a player option. Ousmane Dieng. This is kind of the situation I was talking about a little bit earlier on. He's a young prospect, of course, on many, bad rebuilding teams, probably gets a decent amount of minutes. Unfortunately, here today, I'm not really sure where he's going to fit in. So certainly something we're going to keep an eye on, and it's going to be a year-to-year basis, but as of now, probably out of the rotation, unfortunately. And then we slide over here to the center spot. Chet Holmgren also missed his rookie season. He's 22. Technically was his rookie year last year, and he was as dominant as ever. He looked like a seamless fit with this Oklahoma City Thunder team. going to be very, very good for a very long time. Now, the big blockbuster signing the Thunder made this offseason, that was Isaiah Hartenstein away from the New York Knicks. Brought him in about a 3-year, $90 million contract. I like the fit. Obviously gives them more size, more rebounding, something that, Chet Holmgren maybe just quite isn't there yet. I think Chet's going to be a fantastic rebounder for years to come, but obviously established player, a little bit of a bigger frame here in Hartenstein, certainly going to be a nice addition. So the question's really going to be, are they going to start Hartenstein and Holmgren together? Right? I think there's an argument, and maybe, it's going to be a matchup kind of thing, but it's either going to be, Caruso in there with Lou Dort at the 2 and the 3, or it's going to be Caruso at the 2, J-Dub at the 3, probably Chet at the 4, and then Hartenstein at the 5. I have no idea which way they're going to do it. We'll obviously kind of go and see how things kind of look, but I like the signing quite a bit. I do. We got the other Jalen Williams here as well, 22 years old. Certainly hoping he doesn't fall out of the rotation today. I like him quite a bit. And then we got Kenrich Williams here as well, who is listed as a center at 6'6". I feel like maybe center isn't the exact spot for him, but that's the team. Obviously a talented roster. Got a lot of young guys here as well. I might have a move or two, but if not, I'll just see you guys at the start of year one. Our one and only trade of this offseason is going to come with the Indiana Pacers, and on paper it is certainly an interesting one, to say the least. You're going to understand why we are making this deal in just a second, but it is us sending Kenrich Williams and a 2025 second to the Pacers for Ben Shepherd and Kendall Brown. We are doing this deal to get Ben Shepherd, who is 23 years old and has 2 years of team control remaining. After this season, Williams was going to be out of the rotation, and you will see why. You can also tell I moved him to the small forward spot at 6'6", a little bit undersized. I decided to go the route of playing the two big men together, meaning a starting 5 is going to be SGA, Caruso is going to be next to him, J-Dub's going to start at the 3, Chet's going to be at the 4, and then Hartenstein's going to be at the 5. Now, maybe this isn't the way they're going to, run it in real life. Again, I talked about it a little earlier. I think it very well could be matchup based, whole lot of nights, but I like it. I think it's going to give them more rebounding. It's certainly one of the things I struggled with last year, and although I am relatively high on Lou Dort, he's just going to slide into a bench unit, whether it's a 6th or a 7th man, something like that. So that's going to be the one move. Of course, we got Ben Shepherd strictly because he's young, has team control, and Williams was not a guy that was going to be in our long-term plan. So that's where we're at for now. Ultimately, I think this is going to be kind of the best chance for this team to actually, be seriously competitive in year one and hopefully win a championship. So that is where we're at. Let's go ahead and set that rotation. One trade in the books, and we are officially here and ready to kick off our first season in Oklahoma City. Now, we obviously talked a little bit about the decision we made to start both Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. Ends up moving Lou Dort to the bench unit. He's going to be in a 6th-man capacity with this team. If this does not work out, there's certainly an argument to make a midseason change. It is something we will kind of go, not a game-by-game basis, obviously, but as the weeks and the months go on, if anything changes, I will show you guys. It is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Alex Caruso here at the 2, J-Dub at the 3, Chet Holmgren at the 4, Hartenstein at the 5. Now, of course, 2K is not the smartest thing in the world, so it suggests that Caruso plays 18 minutes a night. That is not going to be the way we are going to run this rebuild. I think he's going to be a pivotal part of the starting 5. Lou Dort now moving to the bench in a 6th-man capacity. Got Isaiah Joe here as my backup shooting guard. Wiggins the backup 4. Cason Wallace, unfortunately, only 12 minutes a night. I know I really wanted to find him more minutes, but there's just a lot of guys on this team, and I don't want to say it like that, but 12 minutes on a team like this isn't necessarily bad, for a second-year player. Then Jalen Williams, the other one, is going to go ahead and be my backup center. So unfortunately, like Ousmane Dieng, Ben Shepherd, who we just acquired, not really going to get much playing time. What I did go ahead and do is I sent Dylan Jones, another one of their first-round picks, down to the G League. So it's not going to really do much to the overall, but at least he's getting a little bit of run. It isn't just going to sit as like a 15th man on the bench. So we're going to also, of course, keep Nikola Topic in mind. This is his rebuild at the end of the day. Not going to be playing this first season, so next year will technically be his rookie year, and we are very much looking forward to that. But we got a season ahead of ourselves, and a season I will see you guys at the end of. Luka Doncic takes home his first career MVP here at the end of year number 1. More importantly, we go 67-15. We all know how dominant this team is, and of course we're only going to get better throughout this rebuild. So a fantastic first regular season for us here. 34-point triple-double with Luka, and those are some insane shooting splits. You can ignore that. Amen Thompson, your 6th man of the year. Wemby is your DPOY. Marcus Sasser, most improved. You don't see that one too often. John Morant, your clutch player of the year, and 67 wins gets Mark Daignault a coach of the year. All right, let's go ahead and take a full look at the standings. We were 16 games up on the 2-seeded Denver Nuggets. Of course, we we're just a very, very dominant team. Here's a look at the East if you'd like to pause. Let's go over some of the numbers real quick. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was certainly in the MVP conversation. Chet Holmgren was absolutely fantastic at the power forward spot for us. You got Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Hartenstein. Not really doing a ton in the points per game department, but about 11 rebounds a game is exactly what we were hoping out of him. Wiggins, Caruso, Wallace, and then Williams. All right, rebounds were led by Hartenstein, and assists was SGA. So we are facing the Golden State Warriors here in round number 1. It was an interesting offseason for the Warriors as well. Of course, lost one of the Splash brothers, Mr. Klay Thompson, to the Dallas Mavericks. And this is a team that, for lack of a better term, I'd say is in a little bit of an identity crisis right now. Of course, you have one of the best players in the world still in Steph Curry. You got Draymond Green, a couple other veterans here, but there's also an argument for a youth movement with Moses Moody. You got Kuminga, you got Podziemski here. So very interesting crossroads right now for the Warriors. I'm not sure, as we speak right now, if they're done making moves this offseason, but I don't really see them as a serious contender right now next year. So that's where I stand on them. We end up beating them in 5. Now moving on to the defending Western Conference champions here in the Dallas Mavericks. We saw Luka just won an MVP. Of course, we all know how great Kyrie is. Grimes, Washington, Gafford, Lively, Rui. How the hell did Rui get here? Okay. And then Clay as well. So interesting. Let's go ahead and hopefully beat Dallas. I think, a little bit of, a sweep. I will 1,000% take that. Okay, well, we now approach the West Finals. It is a 1 versus 2 seed. It is us in the Denver Nuggets. Of course, Nikola Jokic, absolutely fantastic. Jamal Murray had a tough Olympics. Hopefully he's bouncing back. MPJ, Gordon, got Russ, who they brought in this offseason to be probably a 6th man for this team. So here goes nothing in the West Finals. Split the first 2 at home, win 3 on the road, also win 4, and we are now in the NBA Finals taking on the defending NBA champion, Boston Celtics. It is Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Tingus Pingus. You got Al Horford, Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, a whole lot of white dudes off the bench. This is going to be a battle, right? This is the team that won it all last year, although maybe they are a little down this year as a 3 seed. They are battle-tested. They are very, very good. So here goes nothing. We're up 3-0. Are we just going to run them out of their own building? I feel like every time I do a Thunder rebuild, I should make it like you got to win like at least 3 championships to consider it a success, just because of how good and how quickly they are really dominant. So yeah, we're going to be sweeping the defending champs here. My apologies, you're not seeing that gameplay. It was one of the worst I've ever had. I didn't score a single basket, but we still won, which is good. We're going to be back in the finals. We're going to win another championship. I'll show you the gameplay at that point with the focus of today's video, Nikola Topic. So pretend that never happened. SGA wins his first career finals MVP, about 26.5 points, 3 boards, about 9 assists a game, 2.5 steals. Shooting splits were they're pretty decent. All right, let's head into our first full offseason here. Of course, we have some decisions to make, and the decisions we have to make are good ones, but bad, right? We're going to have to cut ties with somebody. I don't know who it's going to be, but of course we just have too many cooks in the kitchen almost at this point. So some decisions will be made as we head into the draft lottery. We're projected to have a bunch of picks that we're probably not supposed to have, so I'm definitely going to have to fact check that. But as of now, we actually don't have any. I'm not seeing the Thunder anywhere. Okay, good. We do not have any like top 2 picks, which is weird because every time I'm doing one of these rebuilds, the Thunder always end up with like number 1 pick, number 3 pick. Like it's insane, but not today. I guess Lakers got the number 1 overall pick. We are good with Mark Daigneault as our head coach. He is now a coaching free agent, if you will. So let's just pay him, bring him back. Welcome back, Mark. Okay, up to the draft. I know we have at least 1 pick. It is obviously not a high selection, but it is a pick, and it is at number 29 via the Philadelphia 76ers. I'll just draft somebody, right? I mean, trading it away for another future pick, we're just kind of kicking the can down the road in terms of these depth issues that we've had. So let's go ahead. Ooh, Carter Knox, about a 73 overall, according to our scouts. Highly ranked in the Sports Nation and 2K rankings. So sure, why not? Not sure if he's going to see the court. My first guess would be probably not. He's actually a 71 overall, but good to have the depth. All right, we are bringing back everybody here. We are probably going to have to figure something out, right? I mean, there's just no argument to run this thing exactly back. Caruso, this is going to be the question. I think Alex Caruso is going to be a very, very nice piece for the Oklahoma City Thunder next year. I think he is a very, very key piece to what they potentially could do. Here in 2K, however, he's 31 years old. He's a 77 overall without his morale boost right now. And he's probably going to be about a 74, 75 to start next season. I understand he's not asking for crazy money, right? He's only asking for about $5 million annually. But just with how 2K's regression goes, just with our depth issues right now, and I say issue, it's more of a over amount of depth, if you will, I'm not going to bring him back. that was going to always kind of be my game plan, especially if we won in year one. I want, obviously, to go ahead and get Topic some minutes. We're still going to, obviously, have Case and Wallace in here. So Caruso is going to be big for the Thunder next season. There is no doubt about it. I would not even be surprised if they extended him past this season. I'm not going to do that here in 2K. This is not a realistic move. I understand that, but we're going to let him walk out the door because of regression, because too much depth, whole 9 yards. Hopefully you guys understand. If it pisses you off, it pisses you off. It is what it is. I cannot change that, unfortunately, but with Nikola Topic now going to be somebody who's emerging into this into this rotation, I had to clear somebody out. So I'm not sure who is going to move to the shooting guard spot. Case and Wallace is certainly 3-4 inches shorter here than Topic, but Topic is probably the better playmaker, and Wallace is probably the better shooter. So I actually am going to move Wallace to the shooting guard spot. Not sure if that's the smartest move in the world, but that is the decision we have made at this point in time to hopefully unlock a little bit of minutes here. So that's where we're at. Still got a lot of depth here at the shooting guard spot. Of course, just drafted Carter Knox as well. The two starters next year are two guys getting minutes. It will be Joe and Wallace. So that's where we're at here. I think we still have to clear up a little bit of the log jam that we have here in terms of depth issues. And of course, we are going to see some expiring contracts as well. We're looking to make an upgrade on this team. This is a deal that would obviously acquire us a really talented center here in Jarrett Allen. It would also go ahead and move Isaiah Hartenstein to the bench unit. And although I know I was just discussing expiring contracts and wanting to move on from all of the guys who are expiring, adding one expiring contract in Jarrett Allen is certainly easier to deal with than, say, 3 or 4. So this is what I'm offering. Jennings expiring. Unfortunately, just never really got real playing time here. Shepard we picked up in the deal with Williams last offseason. Also was never going to play. Neither was Kendall Brown. Jalen Williams is expiring. Certainly could have argued to re-sign him, but we would be getting an upgrade anyways. And then Dylan Jones was never going to get minutes ahead of Lou Dort or J-Dub. So that's my explanation for that. It's just literally too many cooks in the kitchen. I would be willing to give up, I don't know, say my own first next year, and they agree to it. All right, welcome to the team, Jarrett Allen. It's going to be him and Hartenstein here as my two centers. We have Holmgren and Wiggins, Williams and Dort. It's going to probably be Wallace starting. Joe will remain as a 6th man or 7th man, whatever it's going to be. He was really good last year. And then SGA and Nikola Topic. So cleared out certainly a lot of the logjam, which was kind of my main goal this offseason. We are going to end up making 0 signings, which is fine. It's definitely a little risky, but I will just see you guys at the start of year 2. Last season ended with us winning 67 games and bringing home the Larry O'Brien trophy. This offseason, we went ahead and made some decisions. We went ahead and kind of trimmed this thing down a little bit. Obviously decided not bring back a really important piece in Alex Caruso, but this is a team that is just as good, if not better, than last year's group. It is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Case and Wallace now slides into the starting 5. Got J-Dub here at the 3, Chet Holmgren at the 4, and then newly acquired Jarrett Allen as our starting 5. So it's obviously going to move Hartenstein to the bench. Him and Lou Dort will be my 6th and my 7th man. Unfortunate to see him in a little bit of a reduced role, but it's the reality of making a team better. Isaiah Joe will remain here 15 minutes tonight. I think that's a few less than the 18 he got last year, I believe, but it is what it is. Getting Nikola Topic about 12 minutes a night. I get it. It is his rebuild, and it's unfortunate that maybe we're somewhat hindering his progression a little bit, not playing him as many minutes as some of the other guys on the bench, but just the reality of it. We're a seriously contending team, and we got to play the best players possible. And then he is playing, I guess, 2 more minutes than Aaron Wiggins. So that's where we're at. I expect to be very good, just like we were last year, and I will see you guys at the end of year 2. 2 MVPs for Luka, 2 dominant seasons in a row for us. This year around, it is 68-14. It is a safe assumption that is probably the best record in the league, and hopefully we are well on our way to another championship. Cooper Flagg is now in Utah. He was taken with the number 3 overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. He wins Rookie of the Year. Josh Giddey now in San Antonio, playing with Wemby. He's your 6th man. Speaking of the devil, he is your D-boy. Case and Wallace does win Most Improved. It is nice to see, him improving now in a starting role. Wow, he was 46% from beyond the arc. That is insane. Luke is your Clutch Player of the Year. Mark Daignault, 3rd straight Coach of the Year, technically. All right, let's go over the standings. We were 13 games up on the 55-win Rockets. We were, 9 games up on the Indiana Pacers for the best record in the league. Let's go over the numbers real quick. SGA was dominant as ever. Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Jarrett Allen, obviously new addition here. Dort, Wallace, Joe Topic. Not a bad rookie season. About 8 points, 1 rebound, 2.5 assists, 47.5% from the field. He was about 38% from 3, which is actually a lot better than his numbers pre-NBA. Hartenstein and then Wiggins. Rebounds per game were led by Allen, and assist was SGA. So once again, the 1 seed. No surprise there. Wow, it is a matchup with the team we faced in the West Finals last year here. and the Denver Nuggets. I mean, I guess this is what you get when you're in a conference like the West, where everybody's just really good, but we are just kicking the living shit out of them. Oh my God. We now move on to the Memphis Grizzlies. Battle two really good point guards here. Ja Morant versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You got Desmond Bane, Kenrich Williams, an old friend. Triple J, a former depoy himself. Zach Edey, brought in Bruce Brown, my old goat, Marcus Smart. Okay, here goes nothing. West semis, split the first two at home. Go up 2-1. Go up 3-1. And we end up closing them out in 5. As we now approach the Portland Trailblazers. Interesting team here in the West Finals. The Nuggets scared me more, I'm not going to lie. Insane numbers from SGA in the West Finals, and it is Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers not only getting out of the second round, but now making the NBA Finals. So the big three of Maxey, George, and Embiid is certainly strong. Brought in Marvin Bagley, Malik Beasley, still got Kelly Oubre, obviously drafted Jared McCain, you got Andre Drummond here. So this is a strong 76ers team. I just think we're pretty much way too good at this point. So we end up sweeping them in SGA, your finals MVP in back-to-back years. All right, it is 2 years down, 2 championships. I mean, what are you going to do, right? I don't know. LeBron, after 23 years in the NBA, officially calls it a career. Insane. I cannot, imagine what that day is going to look like. Gets his jersey retired by 3 different franchises. And now is going to come the moment where I think we're going to have some picks that are not going to be ours, or not supposed to. I know the Clippers pick's going to be ours. The Chicago one, I'm not really sure of. Okay, we have the Clippers. We also have the 8 and 11. Okay, I'm not actually sure if we're supposed to have all these picks, so I am going to have to fact check that. And just give me a minute. Okay, here is where we are at. The only pick we were not actually supposed to have was the Chicago Bulls. I sent it back to them, and although there were supposed to be future protections on the pick I got back, I just took a second. I have way too many draft picks right now, way too many assets. I don't need them. It's fine. It is what it is. The Miami pick was a surprise. This is actually something that rarely happens, but it does happen. If it was according to 2K, it would happen every time. But the Miami pick was protected 1 through 14 in 2025, which was last year. It obviously did not convey, and for a rare situation, we actually have their unprotected first this year, meaning we have the 11th overall pick. And then the Clippers pick, that's from the SGA trade. We definitely have that. So 6 and 11 is what we're working with right now. 2K is back on their BS, because as you can see, Jared Allen is apparently triggered and probably won't re-sign with me. So I know I can still get him back. It's just a pain in the ass, and I don't really know why 2K is like this. But 2 lottery picks, certainly 2 solid selections. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do with them, but we have some decisions to make as we move forward with this team. So I might consider a Hartenstein move. Now an expiring deal, making roughly $32 million to come off the bench, play about 18 minutes a night. I may consider a move, if the right thing kind of pops up, if you will. I would certainly consider some different things. Zubats actually wouldn't be the worst pickup in the world. I actually don't hate that. All right, I'm sure there's a better deal out there. I'm sure I can improve this team in many other ways, but I'm going to pick up Ivica Zubats. We're also getting Terrence Mann in this deal, and then we'll actually use the 6th overall pick and select somebody who's probably just never going to see the court. So Caleb Wilson, welcome to Oklahoma City. Not exactly sure what his role will be with this team, but he's a 77 overall. Everybody here is going to be brought back, and as we head to qualifying, it is Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, certainly 2 big free agents for us. Although a loaded free agency class, I'm just going to retain my guys. Apparently, Jared Allen is not interested in negotiating with us. Fortunately for me, I can just go ahead and do this because 2K is pretty goddamn stupid, right? I don't know why Jared Allen would be, disgruntled or triggered is the word they're using right now. It's just 2K at their finest. So Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams are both restricted. I'm just going to, pay them both and hopefully retain them both. And we're all set. So that is our 3 guys. We still have some decisions to make with this team because similar to the predicament we found ourselves in just a year ago, we have a lot of depth. So we're good at the point guard spot. Obviously, the acquisition of Terrence Mann isn't probably really going to do a lot for me. I understand that Hartenstein and the 11th overall pick for Zubats is not necessarily on paper a good trade, but at least we have a multi-year contract here now. I think Aaron Wiggins could be on his way out. Caleb Wilson actually might play just because he's younger, similar overall, and probably a lot more potential. Also more years on the contract, so could do that. And I think I'll honestly just move Terrence Mann as well. So yeah, it's shitty. It sucks. It's just... I don't get annoyed with it, but it's almost just like a pain in the ass. There's just too much here, right? And I understand it's going to be vastly... Oh my God, you are so stupid. I understand it's going to be vastly different for the Thunder in real life, right? They're not going to be able to pay everybody. They're not just going to trade everybody. They're going to have to just let some guys go at some point. But the fact that it's like this in 2K is a little insane. So I will see you guys at the start of year 3. We are 2 seasons in, and we have won 2 championships. At this point in time, it feels like we can literally just do no wrong. Of course, we know how fast things can change. We know upsets are possible, so we're going to stay the course. We are going to keep this thing intact and hopefully go for the three-peat, start off a dynasty. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Jared Allen. Really no surprises there. Lou Dort remains my 6th man. Obviously brought in Zubats, got Nikola Topic. Although he is my lowest overall coming off the bench, it's his video. I want to give him a little bit of a bigger role, so he's up to 15 minutes a game. Isaiah Joe, and then Caleb Wilson, who we selected 6th overall. So, yeah, I mean, there's not really too much else to talk about. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. I would say this season was dominant, but that almost feels like an understatement. 77-5, obviously the best new record in NBA history. SGA does get an MVP, so good to see that his efforts have finally been rewarded. But yeah, this is what you get in Thunder rebuilds when you get to year 3. Cameron Boozer, Rookie of the Year, is a member of the Cavaliers. Marcus Sasser is now your 6th man. Wemby, another depoy. Kobe Buffkin, most improved. Cool to see. Wemby is also Clutch Player of the Year, and yeah, it's another one for Marky Mark. I mean, what else are you going to do? Okay, let's go over it. Yeah, 77 wins is certainly going to give us the 1 seed and the best record in the league. It's almost like I understand why people enjoy the 5-year prospect rebuilds, but at this point, I almost don't want to keep going. I am going to keep going because I know people will be pissed, but this almost feels like one of those situations where it's like, what's really the point, right? You guys want to see 5 straight championships? Oh my God. Wow, that went 7. Holy shit. I almost got a little too ahead of myself. Well, Kyrie has now departed Dallas. Make that another destination he leaves behind him. He has moved on to greater pastures, I am assuming, and it is Luka and a bunch of role players at this point. So I don't think he stands any chance. We sweep them. We now move on to the 6-seeded Blazers. I believe this was also the team we faced in the West Finals last year. I think they were a 3-seed, though, and we sweep them as well. So far, our toughest opponent is the Kings, who we have faced in the first round of the playoffs. Now, the Orlando Magic are certainly good. Young, up-and-coming team, good defensive group. Powell still doesn't get the credit for just how good he is, I think. People don't talk about Powell like that, right? Why is that, right? What other number 1 overall pick doesn't get talked about the way Powell doesn't? I think it's disrespectful. I think Powell's going to make a lot of noise this year for the Thunder, but we're getting off track right now. We are obviously going to beat this team. And yeah, Chet Holmgren is your finals MVP this time around. So we go to 7 games in round 1 and then win 12 straight basketball games. The reality of the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, Steph Curry calling it a career. Jimmy Butler ended up his final years on the Pelicans, looks like. Staff retirement to Popovich after 38 years in the NBA. Wow. Okay, draft lottery. I'm sure it's just going to be more picks. Oh, my God. This is insane. This is legitimately effing insane. Okay, you know what? At least they weren't, 1-5. They were 5-7. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them, but I'll figure something out, I guess. I'll just probably draft players that aren't really going to see the court, or at least one player. Holy shit, this is this is why Thunder rebuilds are a huge pain in the arse. Okay, thank you very much, Philadelphia. Another Clippers pick. Oh my God. All right, and then we're going to do this and just, I don't want that. This video is driving me crazy. All right, thank you very much, Milwaukee. And then I don't really know, right? Who even is this? Tyron Stokes, Elijah Arenas. Maybe I draft Elijah Arenas, right? If he's sitting there, maybe I'll trade up, right? We have the draft picks. Let's just try to move up to number 1. Who owns the number 1 overall selection? That would be the Chicago Bulls. Let's just see, not necessarily known as the smartest franchise in recent years. So 5, and you can have 7 as well. And then who else could I include in the deal? Honestly, I may just give up Isaiah Joe. If we draft Elijah Arenas, he's going to be Isaiah Joe's replacement anyways, and Joe is expiring. So there's certainly better ways and directions to get more value out of a situation like this, but we're not really, who cares, right? All right, Elijah Arenas is going to be my pick. Welcome to the team. He's now going to take over the backup shooting guard spot, 6'7", 190 pounds out of Colorado. Going to be a 78 overall. All right, Topic and Knox both going to be brought back. We look at qualifying. Cason Wallace now enters restricted free agency. Oh, shit, and SGA. Yeah, no, that's pretty important. 4 years, $237 million offer from the Golden State Warriors. Eat a bag of fucking dicks. You're not taking my MVP. So we're actually going to wait on Dort and Wallace. I'm almost 100% positive I'll be able to retain them, but just in case, sometimes 2K will auto-renounce like the better player. So I want to make sure I get back SGA first. Still no real offers for either of those players. So SGA is now back. I am now going to offer Cason Wallace a contract because he's a little bit more important than Dort, in my opinion. So let's just hopefully get this done. Seriously, where are you going, right? Thank you. And now Lou Dort is going to be kind of the final piece of the puzzle. Wants about $9 million annually, and we somehow still have the funds to get that done. So yeah, I mean, again, I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's it's just the reality of where we're at. See you guys at the start of year 4. If there were any doubts that this was the start of a dynasty, those doubts can now be laid to rest. We have had 3 seasons so far, and we have won 3 championships. It has certainly been a successful rebuild, and we are going to hopefully cap it off with 2 more championships. SGA, Case, and Wallace, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Jared Allen. This starting 5 hasn't changed since year 2. Caleb Wilson now moving up to the 6th man off the bench. Topic is not the second highest overall off the bench, but he is going to be playing 18 minutes because it's still his video at the end of the day. Meets Zubats, Lou Dort, and then Elijah Arenas rounding out this 10-man rotation. This team is insanely deep because the number 1 overall pick is playing 10 minutes a night. I'll see you guys at the end of year 4. I'm having a little bit of deja vu because SGA just won another MVP and we once again go 75-7. We actually started out the season 32-0. I was like, for a second, are we going to go 82-0? Obviously that did not happen, but yeah, we are very much in a good position to hopefully win 4 straight. Keon Anthony, your Rookie of the Year. Jarris Walker, now a new 6th man in Indiana. Wemby, another depoy. Darren Peterson, most improved. Jalen Brunson, Clutch Player of the Year. And let's just rename the award after Mark at this point, right? All right, we are, yeah, I mean, at this point, who really cares? I mean, numbers. Feel free to pause. I'm not going to spend, my time going over this too much. It is us and the Dallas Mavericks. There's just no fucking way this team's beating us. Let's go through it. We end up sweeping them. We now move on to the Spurs, who obviously do have Victor Wembanyama, old friend Josh Giddey here, but we're just too good. I think that's safe to say. Utah is here. Cooper Flagg is solid. Oh, De'Aaron Fox here as well. Good team. Nobody stacks up to us, and it's unfortunate because I know it doesn't make the video as exciting. Pacers may give us a little trouble. I don't think enough trouble. Okay, we did win. Alexander. All right, we're entering the final season. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Paul George, Vucevic, Kawhi Leonard, Draymond Green down here as well. All calling it a career, man. That's a lot of names right there. And we are going to approach the 5th and final season, and we're just going to kind of do our thing. And we're going to have the number 1 overall pick potentially. We do not. It falls to 5, which is fine. I don't really know what I'm going to do at this point, right? I may just go ahead. Oh my fucking god. Okay, I'm just going to move it all for future draft picks. I'm never going to probably use these draft picks, but it's fine. There's no logical explanation for me to keep any of those right now. Wilson and Knox going to both be brought back. Oh shit, Topic is a free agent. I would certainly like to retain him. Zubats would got to bring him back as well. Topic wants like $26 million. Holy shit. If I don't get Zubats back, that's not the end of the world. I know we very well may be way over the hard cap at this point, but Topic is my... Oh shit, did I renounce him? Oh shit. I'm an idiot. Well, I'm just going to have to find somebody else. I don't think I've actually signed a single free agent today that really wasn't already on this team. So we do have Knox on this team who really just hasn't played yet. So if I can find a decent center making like $5.5 million, I'll include every single pick I have and trade for him. But I don't know how long that list is. It's probably not very long. It's like $6 million. All of these guys are just free agents here. That's unfortunate. Flory Badunga's here. Don't really know a lot about him, but I have 85,000. Okay, cool. I will just see you guys at the start of year 5. We are attempting to go for a record here in 2K, for myself at least. I have never done 5 years and won 5 straight championships. This would 1000% be a first for me, and it would be really cool to do. Of course, we could have made many, many moves this offseason, and I don't want to say significantly improve this team because it's hard to significantly improve, 77 wins in 2 straight years. So we could have made a major move. We decided not to. We have had a formula that has worked for us so far. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. SGA, Wallace, Williams, Holmgren, Allen, you guys know it at this point. Topic is now up to an 83 overall. It is cool to see him finally developing a little bit. He's going to be our new 6th man. Elijah Arenas, Caleb Wilson, Flory Badunga, and Lou Dort, who started out this video as a 6th man, is now a 10th man. Kind of feel bad, but that is the reality we find ourselves in. You all have eyeballs, so you're very much aware that SGA just won his 3rd straight MVP. Now, I'm going to take a second and let you all guess what our record was. If you guessed 75-7, you'd be correct. 3 straight seasons of the same record, 3 straight seasons of SGA MVPs. Isaac Hayes, now your Rookie of the Year. Kobe Buffkin, Victor Wembanyama, Bryce James, Keontae George, Mr. Mark Daigneault. I mean, we're just kind of at the point right now where it would be more shocking if we lost like 2+ games than if we didn't win a championship, right? Like, that's just kind of the reality of the situation we have found ourselves in. It is us and the Memphis Grizzlies here. Again, a talented group there, but we are just whole lot better. We sweep them. We now move on to the Houston Rockets, who are good. I want to give them credit. They have 390-plus overalls and 87 Jalen Green, 83 Drake. Oh, shit. They have 490-plus overalls. All right, maybe I actually got to take them a little seriously. Because how are they a 4 seed also, right? How is that? Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I was actually kind of excited to maybe lose. I'm not going to lie to you. It is us in the Jazz once again. We win. And it is us in the Orlando Magic. So we'll go game by game. I know I cut out the gameplay in year 1, so I will show you some here this time around. And it is going to be official very, very shortly. We are going to end up winning 5 championships in a 5-year rebuild. So I think that's my first time I've ever done this. That's my belief anyways. So let's go wrap that belief up. The gameplay in year 1 was so bad, I'm actually happy I didn't show you it. I know we still won, but it was absolutely terrible. I don't think I hit a shot. We're at the point now where obviously things are a little different. We have established ourselves possibly as the greatest dynasty ever, right? MJ and the Bulls had 2, or they won 6 championships, but they had 2 three-peats. And, what do you consider more successful? 5 straight championships or, 6 or 2 three-peats, right? You know what I'm saying? I know 6 is more than 5, obviously, so there's that argument. But we have certainly set ourselves up for one of the greatest teams in the history of basketball. So that's just where we're at. It's the reality of it. This is an unfortunate. It's not unfortunate, but I feel like Thunder rebuilds are just like a lot of them end up being this way. Not 5 championships this way, but like a lot of them end up being just not as exciting as some other ones because there's not a lot of struggle, right? There's not a low point that you really ever see in these videos, and of course, you obviously want to get them back up to the point where they are competing for championships. The whole point of a rebuild, but the Thunder are not one of those teams that are struggling or low on assets or low on young players or whatever it's going to be. So I am happy with the way this one went, but I just don't feel like the Thunder rebuilds are as exciting as some of the other ones. So I know we got to do them. It's the reality of the situation we're in, and credit to Sam Presti for making these so easy for me because he has an insanely talented young roster and he has 85 million fucking draft picks. So the Nikola Topic fit is going to be interesting. Of course, they are a team that has the luxury of having, high lottery pick, not high lottery picks, but like the 12th overall pick in the NBA draft, have high NBA draft picks, and can draft somebody like a Nikola Topic, who obviously has a torn ACL, is not going to be playing next NBA season, and they probably won't really skip a step. Who the fuck is that? Who was that? They probably legitimately will not skip a step. I think they've had a fantastic offseason. I'd give them like an A rating for their offseason. I thought the Hartenstein signing was a really, really big pickup. Obviously, the 1-for-1 swap with the Bulls for Caruso, for Josh Giddey was really, good on paper anyways. And I think it's going to be really successful for them. So, whether or not Nikola Topic ends up being, a seriously talented player on their team, it's probably not going to hurt them nearly as bad to say if, another team ended up drafting a bust. And so that's how Sam Presti, works his magic. That's why he's been the GM of the Thunder so long, and that's why they are wildly successful and probably will be for many years. So that's where we're at here. Obviously, 5 championships are now done. This video has been long enough, and I will see you guys with what is likely going to be SGA's, 4th Finals MVP? SGA wins another Finals MVP, about 24 points, 4 rebounds, damn near 10 assists. That is championship number 5. All right, obviously this was the Nikola Topic rebuild. The crazy part about this one is although we're super deep, and we've talked about it a little bit, and I don't want to keep harping on it, but we could have seriously made this team a lot better, right? I could have made many moves with the millions of draft picks that I have, and I could have traded for other superstars and really made this to the point where there was no doubt we were going to win another championship. But we didn't do that, right? I just wanted to go out there and say, I've had better rosters than this. I have. I think I've had 690 overalls before. And I maybe won 2 championships in that rebuild. It's just funny. There's something about the Thunder. It's like in the script, in the coding of 2K, that makes them just always win, always so dominant. So it's not a complaint. It's just like something I've noticed. And yeah, I still enjoyed this. Don't get me wrong. I definitely will take this over, struggling and never winning anything in a rebuild. But you guys probably understand what I'm trying to say and make with my point. So this one was enjoyable. I am glad that I, set history, I guess, for myself. 5 championships in 5 years. And I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all on the next one.